Before there was time, there was intention. Before the first breath, before the first dawn, there's a silence, so deep it held all possibilities within it. No wind moved, no light stretched across the void, only darkness vast and unmeasured, waiting. Then the silence was broken, not by force, but by will. A voice spoke, and the emptiness listened. With that wargy light tore through the darkness, not as a weapon, but as a revelation. Where there'd been nothing, there was now distinction. Days separated from night. Order rising from chaos, meaning beginning to take shape. The heavens unfolded like a curtain drawn back by unseen hands. Waters were set apart. Space was formed so life could one day breathe. Below, the earth emerged, firm and ready, as if it had been waiting all along for its purpose to be named. Seas gathered land stood tall, and from the soil, life erupted. Green spread across the ground, trees reached upward, seeds carried futures within them. Every plant, every fruit, every blade of grass followed a design greater than itself. Nothing existed by accident. Everything knew its place. The sky is filled with movement. Lights were placed above, not only to shine, but to govern time itself. Days gained rhythm. Seasons gained direction. The universe was no longer random. It was intentional. Then came the living creatures. Wings cut through the air. Fins stirred the deep. Beasts roamed the land, each formed with strength, instinct, and purpose. Life multiplied, filling the world with sound and motion, and still, something was missing. Creation was vast. It was beautiful, but it was unfinished. The world had form, but no voice to speak back. Then came the moment that changed everything. From the dust of the earth, a new kind of being was formed. Not merely alive, but aware. Not driven only by instinct, but capable of choice. Breath was given, not just to sustain life, but to awaken it. Humanity opened its eyes. Unlike the rest of creation, this being was made to reflect something unseen. Bearing the image of its creator, humanity was entrusted with responsibility. To cultivate, to guard, to rule. Not with cruelty, but with clarity. Not as owners, but as stewards. The world was given into human hands. Work was not a punishment. It was a calling. Relationship was not weakness. It was design. Humanity was created to walk in harmony with creation and in closeness with the one who made it all. And yet, within this perfection, a tension quietly formed. For love without choice is not love at all. Humanity was free. Free to obey. Free to trust. Free to remain aligned with its purpose. But also free to turn away. Free to question. Free to redefine what was good. In the midst of abundance, a single boundary stood. And within that boundary, the future of the human story waited. The world had been created. Humanity had been given purpose. Now, a choice would soon reveal whether that purpose would be embraced or abandoned. The choice did not arrive with thunder. It came quietly. In a world where every need was met, where fear had no name and shame did not yet exist, doubt found a voice. A whisper questioned what had been given. A suggestion twisted what was true. Trust was slowly pulled apart, thread by thread. The boundary that once felt protective began to feel restrictive. The human heart, created for relationship, now faced temptation. Not the temptation of survival, but of control. The desire to define good and evil on its own terms. To rise from steward to judge. To become the center instead of remaining connected to the source. And in that moment, the choice was made. It was not simply disobedience. It was a fracture. Awareness flooded in like a sudden storm. Innocence slipped away. Eyes were opened, but not to freedom. They were open to fear, to vulnerability, to separation. What once felt safe now felt exposed. What once felt close now felt distant. Humanity hid, not because the Creator had changed, but because the human heart had. The voice that once brought peace now stirred trembling. The ground that once felt like home now carried weight. The harmony between creation and humanity cracked, and the echo of that fracture spread outward. The consequences were not immediate destruction, but something far more painful. Distance, work, became heavy. Relationships strained. The earth resisted the very hands meant to care for it. Pain entered the human experience, not as cruelty, but as the cost of broken alignment. The purpose had not been removed, but it was now burdened. And yet, even here, judgment did not come alone. In the midst of consequence, mercy spoke. Humanity was not abandoned to the void it had chosen. A path forward was promised. Though the ground was cursed, hope was planted within it. Though separation existed, restoration was not erased from the future. Chimi moved on. Generations rose and fell, carrying both the image of their creator and the weight of their rebellion. Violence grew, pride multiplied. Humanity continued to build, but now often for its own glory. Cities rose without wisdom. Power was pursued without restraint. The world filled with noise, but lost its direction. The purpose of humanity became blurred. Yet even as corruption spread, the original intention remained unchanged. Humanity was still meant to reflect something greater, to choose trust over control, to walk humbly rather than dominate selfishly, to live not as gods, but as image bearers. And so the tension deepened. Would humanity continue down the path of self-rule, repeating the same fracture in countless forms? Or would it one day return to the purpose for which it was first formed? The world waited. History leaned forward, because the story of creation was no longer just about how everything began. It was becoming a story about how everything might be restored. Restoration did not arrive all at once. It unfolded slowly, patiently, across generations. Though humanity had wandered far from its original purpose, it was never forgotten. The Creator continued to pursue, calling people not back to perfection, but back to relationship. The purpose of humanity had not changed: to reflect what is good, to choose love over pride, to walk with humility instead of control. Again and again, humanity failed, yet again and again, mercy answered failure. Where people built walls, grace opened paths. Where fear ruled hearts, hope was quietly planted. The world moved forward, carrying both beauty and brokenness. Pain and promise lived side by side. Humanity learned that strength alone could not heal what was fractured. Knowledge alone could not restore what was lost. Power alone could not save. What was needed was alignment. Not a return to dust, but a return to purpose. To understand that humanity was never meant to replace the Creator, but to reflect Him. Never meant to rule creation for selfish gain, but to care for it. Never meant to find meaning in dominance, but in relationship. And this truth still echoes. The breath that once awakened humanity still calls it forward, not toward perfection, but toward transformation. Every life carries the same original imprint. Every heart still wrestles with the same choice: to live for self, or to live for something greater. The story of creation is not only about the beginning of the world, it is about the ongoing invitation placed before every generation, an invitation to remember why humanity exists, to live with intention, to choose light over darkness, purpose over pride. The world is still being shaped, and humanity still has a role to play. If this story stirred something within you, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel to continue exploring these powerful biblical narratives, and leave a comment sharing which biblical story you would like to hear next. The story continues, and you are part of it.